My name is Barry, and this is my Bond Pergola review. First off, communication from Bond Pergola was amazing. From start to finish, email, text, phone calls, they were with me every step of the way. Through the design phase, there was things like the wall mount and height considerations that I was trying to figure out, and they helped me through the entire process. When it came to shipping, the shipping was delayed a little bit. I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 weeks as it was coming from overseas. But day of, when everything got here, everything went smoothly. Pricing and payment, I think I paid 50% or something like that up front. I don't remember exactly, but wire transfer had no issues. And once the Pergola landed at their warehouse in uh, Long Beach area, then they went ahead and sent the invoice for the second payment, and then it got shipped out. On delivery day, day of, they end up using a um, less than a truckload freight company. So the pergolas, they all come in these big giant crates. So the crates have to be broken down on site once they get delivered to wherever they're going. So just something to think about. There's a bunch of cardboard boxes, and each one of those will have different pieces in it. I had essentially three pergolas. So I had, I think four crates on the first shipment, and then one crate on the second shipment of the shades. Um, and that was just an extra step that I didn't know about until day of. Um, as far as like the instructions and videos go, Bomb Pergolas was pretty good. I would say the instructions are okay. Definitely built for kind of like a DIY person with, I would say, medium to expert DIY experience. You're going to need a general contractor. You're going to need, or you're going to need a help from a couple friends to put this thing together. You definitely can do it, a lot of it solo, like I did. Just takes a really long time, and there's a little bit of trial and error as I was putting everything together. Um, some of the planning steps that I had to figure out were, you know, where's the electrical going to go, the foundation, so the size of the footings that I wanted to pour. I didn't have a finished graded surface to put my pergola. It was part of a big backyard remodel, so figuring out where those were going to go and the elevation was one part that I actually had to figure out prior to ordering, because I also had very low clearance above some windows in the roof, and I had to figure that out as well. I also didn't know how much clearance I needed above the pergola. So once the blinds, the louvers are open, I had to, I wasn't, it wasn't really clear how much additional space. Bomb Pergola said 14 inches. It ended up being, I think, like 14 and a half. And so I chose not to pour the foundation until, the footers until the pergola was on site and built and in place. The other big thing is my pergola sits underneath an eave, and so I wanted to remove the gutter from the roof and then use the gutter that's built in. And so figuring out the drainage and how all that was going to work was also just another like really important step to figure out how that was going to all work. I had to get the roof prepared, and when I go into the video, you'll see some examples of what that looks like. Overall construction um, of the pergola is amazing. I mean, when they say these things can withstand hurricanes, I believe them. I'm in California, so I don't have to worry about hurricanes, but we do have strong rains every once in a while. We don't have to worry about snow, but you could definitely, if you lived in an area that gets a lot of snow or strong winds, I would have no concerns recommending Bon Pergola. Definitely want to get the right kind. I got one that was a little bit more heavy duty. They do make a lighter weight version one that's a little bit that's cheaper. Um, I don't have any experience with that, so but I do recommend the commercial strength one. As far as like layout with the lights, the installation, there's a couple options. You've got lights that are built into the louvers, then you've got edge lighting. This is going to be a personal preference thing. I got both because I didn't really have a good picture of what they might look like. I wanted the option to have either or. Um, and I think if I went back, I would probably just pick the louvered lights. But also just I think a preference thing. Some people might like the edge lights and the colors and the different things. I prefer the more natural looking louvered lights. I reviewed a lot of competitors, the luxury Pergola, Hanzo, all the major DIY players, not comparing them to Structure or Azenco or some of the kind of end-to-end manufacturers where they'll do the design, the manufacturing, and the installation. I think if I would have tried to go through one of those companies, I probably would have paid at least 600% more for what I got. So I got 3 pergolas. I think I paid with blinds, with lights, with all the extra everything. I think I paid around 50 grand. If I went to Structure, that same pergola would have cost me 300,000. So really good value for the quality of the materials and everything you get. And I think overall, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to share a couple videos, walkthrough of my pergola and the installation. And I hope this is helpful. I didn't find any reference videos or reviews online. So I decided to put this together for anyone that might be considering Bond Pergola as part of their project. Okay, so I didn't get a video or a picture of everything when the truck came, but here's a couple of the blade boxes. You can see the cellophane all wrapped nice and tight. There's about 4 per box. My pergola is 20 feet long by 12 feet wide. So I've got about 29 louvers per pergola. Okay, so this is just the back side of the house where the pergola is going to go. You'll notice starting to lay all the pieces out, getting ready to put the ledger board up first. Above each of the windows is a really good place to connect. You'll notice on the left-hand side where the string is, I've got holes where the footers are going to go. Those are about 3 feet wide in each direction and then 3 feet deep. Wanted to make sure that I had enough concrete there and size those appropriately. Okay, so here we've got all 3 pieces of the header up. You'll notice above the windows there's a hole. That was a good place to set one of the lag bolts. Use the black ones, about 2.5 inches, 3 inches long. Used a combination of ladders and then these telescoping poles to hold the ledger board up and get everything level before we mounted everything to the house. All right, so here you can see we've got the complete ledger board up. This was definitely a 3 or 4 person project getting everything up there. This was extremely hard, heavy. We ended up actually putting 2 of these up first and then adding the 3rd one. The tricky part was on the last one, being able to reach behind to get the hex nuts on. This was a little tricky, but we figured it out and got it all up there. Okay, this last shot is just a picture of what the entire frame looks like fully assembled, you'll notice that the posts are all floating above the foundation holes. This is primarily due to making sure that everything was level. We attached these 2x6s to each post, and essentially just got those level, and then we poured the foundation after. So there may be a better or easier way to do this, but this worked really well for us. We were able to get everything plumb, everything level, and then I'll show you what the drainage looks like next. Okay, so here's just the bottom of the post on the outside. You can see got a piece of PVC elbow in there, along with just a little piece there, and then I've got a long PVC pipe that goes all the way up through the top of the post here. And then at the top of this post, I put a little coupling, and then that coupling will actually sit right in top of the bracket on the top of this that connect the two gutter channels together. Okay, so this is the inside corner gutter channel, and you'll notice there's a square, so I had to get PVC that went up into the square, and then I sealed it around with Sikaflex, and I'll show you what that looks like in a later video. Okay, once everything was mounted up, just showing you a quick example of the wires that come out. I ended up rerouting these a little bit differently after I took this picture, and I wrapped them all the way around to the back, but you can kind of see there's an access point here at the bottom, and then a little one here at the side. All right, so let's do a little overview of electrical. I still have this open because I still need to run the electrical for the fans and the fan beams and the heaters, but essentially all the wires are running through this outlet port here. I went ahead and just drilled a 1.5 inch, actually 2 inch hole here. I then have some PVC conduit. I'm gonna silicone around that, and then I'm gonna run all the wire through 2 inch PVC pipe, and that's gonna go down and tie into a new junction box that I'm gonna put in right there. So over here on the far pergola, this is where one of the first control boxes for the motor, the lights, for this side is right up there in that corner. So I've got a little bit of wiring going through right there, and it just connects on the other side of that beam. I've got the edge lighting that goes into the corner here, and I'll go up on top and I'll show how I hid the wires in each one of the beams. That was a little tricky. And then for the shades that come down, the cord is on the left hand side for each one of these. And so getting the cable from this corner up into the top beam and then over, I had to come out the side wall and then into the other side wall of this beam. And then I came down here, and then I had to pop out that beam again and then over in the corner. And in the next video, I'll show you what that looks like.
Okay, so here's an example of one of the louvers. On one side you have the rain gutter, so that's that side. And then this side faces down. There's a weather strip, and then they're interlocking. These things are massive. Great quality, great finish. All right, so quick little overview of the louvers. These things are super strong. I've walked up on top of these numerous times. because the pergola is against the house to do all the electrical work. These things are beefy. Each one probably weighs, I want to say 20, 25 pounds. So definitely a two-person job when hanging these up. And I'll go ahead and just do a quick little demo of them opening. And you can see that they open, they're pretty quiet. And they open pretty fast. So we're going from completely closed to open. And now we're fully open. One minor downside to these is you can't really set a limit, but if you did want to go ahead and a lot of times I'll actually kind of open these and stop them so they're straight up and down, so I get the maximum amount of light in. Not hard to do that. When they're fully closed, this thing's completely flat. It looks great, and you'll notice here in the middle I've got one beam that is not rotating. This is where a future fan is going to go. So there's a little some brackets that prevent that middle beam from turning. You can actually put this anywhere. So if you want it on the right side, the left side, off-centered, you can actually put this anywhere. It doesn't need to be in the middle. I haven't fully decided where mine's going to go yet. And then there's actually another beam. When I get to the fan beam section, I'll go ahead and do a video of what that looks like, but that's why that middle one isn't moving. Okay, so here's just a quick snapshot of the shade wire that comes up through this hole. Now I made a little bit of a mistake and I put this hole to the right here. If you can, you're gonna wanna go actually a little bit closer up here and just follow that line. And you come out over here in the corner. There's a little bit of slack in here and it's really tight with the shade. So if you actually don't go over to the left a little bit, that could it could get caught on the roller, and you don't want that. So I had to make sure it was really snug up to the top of that and tucked back in there with some caulk, and that worked out pretty well. So anyways, this cable goes through this beam all the way down through to the end there, and then it comes out and over into the beam at the back of the house. So that's kind of how I did that. All right, so here's a quick overview of the gutters. These gutters go all the way around each of the pergolas. They're about, I want to say 3.5, 4 inches wide, about 2.5 inches deep. These things can handle a ton of water. On each corner, there's essentially a little bracket. You can see where the lines come here. Really important that you caulk on the inside of these when installing the, otherwise they will leak. So really important to caulk those. Also, when putting this up, really important to get everything super square. These gutters, they kind of snap in. So you kind of put them in at an angle and snap down, and they look really great. On this side, we've got drainage coming down the front, this post, and then on this side, I also have drainage actually going down on both sides of this particular post, and then in the middle, same thing here, and then on the outside. I opted to hide the drainage underneath the pavers. I kind of liked the cleaner look of that. This was a lot of work to put the drainage underneath. I ended up running PVC through all of the posts, and it turned out really great. The one thing though at the top is getting the PVC up through the post and the bracket. I'll show you in just a minute what that looks like, but that was a little tricky. Okay, so here's just a picture or quick little video of what the drainage pipe looks like on these inside corners. Pretty much just kind of retrofit this, and then you can kind of see the PVC pipe going into that. Use some Sikaflex. This stuff's really strong. It'll last forever, and all the water will flow down this pipe nice and easily. Good size opening here. Okay, on this side, Bomb Pergola actually has a little adapter. It's the one it's basically a circular piece of PVC, and you can get a 1.5 inch coupler up in there, and then I sealed it with Sikaflex, and that is a little bit of a bigger opening than in the middle, and this pipe goes all the way down and then ties into the drainage. So this side's a little bit easier. The other side's a square bracket. This is a circle bracket, and so I was able to use a bigger PVC pipe here, and this is where a majority of the water is going to be running down on this side. All right, so this is just a quick little demonstration of the shades going up and down. Go ahead and close everything. So you can see here, really good privacy. You can't see through this at all. The quality of this material is very good. It's a very tight weave. It is going to last a really long time. Down here at the bottom, there's a weighted bar. Each one of these bars, I want to say, weighs maybe 30 or 40 pounds. So if the wind, if you live in a windy area and the wind is hitting the screen, you're not going to feel it at all on the inside. We haven't been through our first winter yet, but I'm looking forward to testing this out. You can't really see it, but on the side here also, it's kind of reinforced here on the end. There's actually, this is zips in to the channel here. So really nice, clean design here. Go ahead and put them up. And you can see here how good this blocks the sun. Go ahead and go to the inside now and close these. And what's really nice is you can actually see pretty well from the inside out. The cameras, I mean, the sun's kind of hitting these right now, but if we move down here a little bit, if you're just looking straight out, you can see pretty well. And you can see how much darker it is in here when the shades are down. I've got a projector screen here, and when these are all down, even during the daylight, the projector works really good, watching football, watching movies. Pretty nice. Okay, one more little thing about the shades. You'll notice here at the bottom, from right to left, there's a little gap on the left-hand side. You can let the screen go down a little bit further and have that flat, but then the screen will be wrinkled. So because my pavers are sloped, I've got a little bit of a gap, and you can actually see on this one, I've got a lot of slope. So there's actually quite a big little gap over here. If you're not too worried about the sag, you can set the limit a little bit lower and then it'll be even all the way across. Or as you're planning your drainage and your slope, then you'll want to go ahead and just take that into consideration. Also, when you order your pergola, if you do have a lot of slope, I recommend not having them pre-cut the channels here on the left-hand side. So each one of these has a channel that goes up into the beam, because you're gonna have different heights. And so you're not gonna have uniform measurement. And if you want it to sit flush from the top all the way down to the floor, you're gonna have to custom cut those. So just one thing to consider when you're ordering the shades and determining the height that you need. Okay, quick little overview of the edge lighting. So the power supply, you have to power these are LED lights on the inside. You have to power them from both sides. So essentially there's a little controller right here. It's got a little QR code. This is what communicates with the RF remote and the mobile app. This plugs into one side, then you've just got power on the other side. I tuck these away just in this little hole to keep everything up out of the gutter. There's these really nice aluminum brackets that sit on top of the gutter. To install these, I highly recommend using a little rivet tool. I was able to find a black rivet on Amazon. I'll post the size that I used and the materials in the comments. But this was a really great way, and I like the way this look turned out, way better than screws. And you had to do that all around the gutter. The holes come pre-drilled from Pergola, so you just need to put this up over the gutter, and then get the rivet gun, pre-drill the hole, and then put in the rivet. And this turned out really nice. At each corner, you're gonna have a couple of waterproof plugs that kind of hang here. And so I just kind of tuck them away. I might see if I can figure out a way to kind of clip them to the gutter so they're not kind of sitting down in case there's a lot of water in there, but I'm not expecting a lot of water. I live in California. We don't get a lot of rain. So this is the edge lighting. The other thing is your thumbs will get tired from having to push this in. Definitely put the lights in on the ground. Don't try to put up the aluminum channel and then put the light in. It'll be impossible, and you'll save yourself a lot of pain by doing it on the ground. All right, so this is just a quick video of the lights in the louvers. This is at 100%. This is at 75%. This is at 50%. And this is at 25%. You only get 4 settings on this one, but you can also, presets, you can also go down individually one by one. So you can get these really, really dim. So if you just want some mood lighting, or if you're just looking for just a little bit of light, you can definitely do that. All right, so here's a little video of the edge lights at nighttime. This is white, and it's definitely a cool white, not a warm white, but it's very bright. I'll do a comparison of the louvered lights and the edge lights in a second, but just to show you how you can kind of dim these down. This is just kind of going one by one. You can get these down about that far. Not quite as dim as the louvered lights, but definitely look nice. And you know, these ones are RGB, right? So you can change up the colors as much as you want. You can also change the mode. There's about, I don't even know, 100 or so different modes in here. You can do chase, you can do multiple colors, single colors. I'm not going to go through these all, but there's definitely a lot of them. These look great. Just coming inside here. These go all the way around. Lights everything up. You can also slow down the speed of the lights. There you go. Okay, here is a little comparison of edge lighting on white, which is a cool white at 100%, and the louvered lights at 100%. You can see here this light a little bit more softer, kind of a natural glow, versus the edge lights are a cool light. If you didn't look at these next to each other, I don't think you'd be able to tell that the cool light, it's not going to look as blue. When I'm standing here outside of the video is making it look a little blue than it does in person. But if you want to know what this color looks like, just take any light that's cool white, a cool white light bulb, and turn it on outside, and that's the color you'll get. Over here, I think this is 2700 Kelvin. There you go. There's a little contrast between the two different types of lights. All right, this is just a little video. I'm inside the pergola. I've got the shades down, the louvers closed. You can see that you can see through these at night if there's absolutely no light, or if you're inside your house, you want the shades down. One of the things that's kind of nice is that you can kind of see through these. So definitely no light on the inside, but see through on the outside. I'll go ahead and open them, and in the next video, I'll do the inverse looking in, and I'll turn the lights on. All right, so this is outside looking in. You know, when you have the lights on, this is a little bit less of a privacy shade. Actually, no privacy at nighttime. During the day, this definitely works great. But if you have the lights on and you have the shades down, you're definitely going to be seen from your neighbors. You turn the lights off, you don't see anything. All right, so just a quick little overview of the remote controls. This right here is the main remote control. I've got 3 pergolas, so these are all labeled 1, 2, and 3. What's nice is you've got on and off for the louver lights in this remote. So just clicking that button there turns that on and off. You can select to open the louvers. You got open, close, and stop. This little wheel here, I don't really use it much. You can kind of incrementally open it little by little by pressing on that. And then you also have the option to program multiple different shades into this one. So I've got 4 shades. So on this remote, I've got all 4 shades. I can actually select 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. I can open, close, and stop them as a group all at the same time. This second remote here is just if you have the louvered lights, this is a controller for that. So there's no dimmer on the main remote here, but they do have a little remote here. So here's where you have the presets, 100%, 75%, and then you can dim this down in small increments all the way down. You can also set a delay off timer, which I think is kind of nice. You can also program this into the Bond Pro so that everything is on your phone, or you can use the Bond Pro controllers. This remote right here is for the edge lights. This is a 2.4 gig RF remote. It communicates, you can sync multiple different edge lights into one remote. You can control brightness, speed, mode, and color here. And then this last remote, this is the remote for the shades. This is a standalone remote. If you want to put one of these, you know, on a post, they've got a little holder that they go in. I don't use these at all. I've programmed all my shades into the main remote here. So 4 remotes. All of these are built into the Bond Pro app that I use, and I'll do a tutorial and overview of that along with those remotes in the next video. Okay, so these are my Bond Pro remotes. I went ahead and had custom laser engraved templates here. So I've got a controller for controlling my shades. I've got, my louvers. I've got a controller for the shades. And then I haven't put it in yet, but I have another one for the lights. I can pretty much control and do anything from these 3 remotes outside of controlling the edge lights. So these control the louvers, the shades, and the louver lights. And I can do them all individually or as groups.